Rishi, come forward. Rishi, go back. You're not getting Gala Bingo, Rishi Sunak. You've been too naughty. And welcome to the Wall of Fame. So, before we proceed with ripping Rishi a new arsehole here, right, we're going to go to the backstory because this is the most important part so that you understand why that Rishi Sunak is featuring on the Wall of Fame for a second time. So, let's rewind the time. Right. So, a problematic female student had been kicked out of a secondary school and was going to be put in another secondary school, most likely to be Manchurian. And funny enough, her expulsion paperwork was only half filled. And when she got to this new school, she was put in the segregation unit, also known as the SEGI. Obviously there have been reviews frequently, and eventually she got out of the SEGI unit. But she was clearly a dangerous pupil nonetheless. And she befriended Rihanna Jai and convinced Rihanna to meet her and her pal, who was male, in a park in Manchester. Brianna, we've got to say it at the most earliest point possible, is a person who is transsexual, the term trans, and she's obviously somebody that's maybe got mild anxiety and stuff like that, and this was shown on a text message to her mum. She said to her mum, "I'm on the bus, it's a bit of a busy bus, I'm a bit anxiety," and mum was very pleased that she was willing to give it a try, even if it might be anxiety inducing and whatever else. And that was the last text message Rihanna actually received from her mum. And Rihanna did meet the problematic female and her male pal from the school, and unfortunately there was nothing merry it was going to happen from there. It was going to be a full scale murder on Brianna, and that's absolutely shocking. Now, early into investigations on both of the people, but more specifically the female that I've been talking a lot about, there was a lot of really hardcore dangerous stuff, e.g. References to Satanism, bigoted hate speech towards LGBT and trans people, actual plans of not just killing Rihanna, but also other people in that school. And there was more stuff on her phone, and so on and so on. And that was the earliest stages of investigation, but when it actually got to a point where they were able to form a case and send it to CPS to get into the court, that's when the really, really dark, insane shit was coming out. It was absolutely terrible. People in the courtroom during that case had to listen to near enough 30 days, maybe even more, of next generation debauched filth, I can only call it as, and as a result, the people that were in the jury, they were sometimes having to leave the room to be sick and cry and faint and stuff. It really fucking was atrocious. But the only very slight upside is these two people that were involved in murdering Brianna will be at least 10 years in jail. From what I'm reading, at least 15, might I say, just to kind of keep everyone up to speed on the matter. Now, Keir Starmer, politician, invited Brianna's family down to PMQs, and during PMQ, Rishi Sunak done the absolutely unforgivable, might I say, and basically make a joke that was transphobic, knowing that Brianna's family were watching, and knowing that the cameras were probably playing out to an audience of 6 mil. Then there's all the legacy press has 25 mil. Then the people on YouTube probably another 60 mil. You can do the maths. The numbers are adding up. It's actually scary. Rishi made a shit of himself, right? By making the transphobic comment, he made an absolute shit of himself. Now, the actual quote I don't have on this video deliberately because it's transphobic. But if you're really wanting to see this moment where he, let's say, dropped the ball, you could say, you can either type into YouTube Rishi Sunak transphobic comment, or just type that into Google and you'll find pages, lots of pages. And the thing that really kind of puts my edge up, right? If you look at the video, you'll see as he says it, sometimes if somebody says something at a place, they have a kind of look like, oh, I didn't mean to say that kind of thing. But no, when he said it, it was an instant dirty grin. It was absolutely awful. It was genuinely pretty embarrassing. And if that is our Prime Minister, he's not mine. And not just the family, but Keir had asked for an apology of Rishi Sunak. He doubled down actually and said, I'm not doing that. I'm not apologising. But he went the next day to offer the family to come down to London for something, but it wasn't hugely specific about what it entailed. The family went, no. Quite rightly. Good on you. Now, the way I believe it, United Kingdom means united, means together, right? Rishi Sunak's bigoted words, let's say, they stem from something. And I'll tell you what something is actually, right? Rishi Sunak, he basically interacts with another country, although he was born here, but he goes by beliefs of that other country. That other country, might I say, goes by a very, very zero tolerant towards LGBT people. So he obviously growing up with that message drummed into his ear. So the way he views LGBT now is of something of abhorrence and disgust and disdain. But if he has a bigoted attitude in a country that's that forward thinking and progressive, then he's in the wrong place and he shouldn't be Prime Minister. He should be about bringing people together, not splitting people apart and compartmentalising and stuff like that. That's not how it's done. If you're going to be a Prime Minister, you're going to have to be a person of the people, not a person of hate and compartmentalisation and everything else down down the middle, right? It's just absolutely zero acceptable, right? It's just not acceptable at all. I mean, the thing is, Rishi, you have to bear in mind, right? You're coming up to a general election either in the next couple months or in the next 6 months, and your bigoted words have not been forgotten. There will be people who don't normally vote, like me, I don't vote at all. I could come forward, put a vote to make sure you get kicked out of number 10. And I think people have been pretty pissed off with you for other avenues, and I think they'll be making their voice heard when it comes to voting and getting you out the door and into a fixer's van. You know, you've got to think a bit more progressively. You might not agree with LGBT matters, but you've got to give the level of respect that we give you back. And the irony is, right, with Rishi Sunak quite a few months ago was moaning about racism in the government, yet he's happily doling out transphobia. I don't think so, pal. If you don't like it, stop ruling the country, hold a snap election, get somebody else in, and you jet set to wherever the fuck you want, and leave us to get on with our lives in peace. It's straight and simple. Go to that place that stones people to fuck whatever, fine, why you're in, you be you, but leave us alone. We are progressive, we are forward thinking, we are willing to give things a listen to. If you are too ignorant, stand down. In fact, you know, if things are going the way it is, you'll be going in a picture's van anyway. Is it either option, right? Leave the now or watch yourself get absolutely tanked at the vote. I know it's not going to be really good for you because there seems to be a united consensus that you're pretty much hated. And you're hated more now regarding Brianna Jai. You're disgusting. I don't even think you should what you call do a quick turnaround, a 180, and suddenly become a trans ally. No one will believe you. You've got to believe it. No one will believe you. It's sad what happened, but what compiled with what you did in front of a camera, in front of a live audience, and there was also an audience with the internet. It could be about a billion sets of eyes at its max. I mean, you took one massive letter straight to the heart, Mr. Sunak. You're actually quite shocking. Therefore, you need to go. You have no touch with the common people, and the common people does include trans people, gay people, bisexual, lesbian, you name it, plus, and all the rest of it. This is a country of tolerance and respect. If you can't produce it, step down, get your Pickford's van, get your stuff, take it to Heathrow, and be gone with you. We can't stand you, Rishi, quite frankly. Now, I'm going to move over to a more positive note. I'm going to hopefully talk directly to the family who had lost Brianna. My massive amount of condolences about what happened, and it must have been absolutely awful to be in that situation where Rishi Sunak made that kind of remark to potentially a billion set of eyes. And I really do hope that, that a billion set of eyes, I really do hope that billion set of eyes look back at Sunak and use that vote to actually get Sunak out. He's out of touch with the public. He's out of touch with politics. We didn't even ask him to be here as a politician. It was a group of his pals, and that was that. But ultimately, yeah, it's just, I just want to extend my massive amounts of condolences to you regarding what happened to Brianna. We're all thinking of you. We really are. And I would love to know what, if anything by anyone, could do to make the world a bit of a safer place. It's just, it's gobsmacking. But I really felt for you, our family, when Rishi Sunak did that transphobic verbal assault towards you. You damn right do deserve an apology for what you did. Clearly his head is up his arse. It'll probably never come to a point of an apology. I think the next level best thing that could happen to Sunak is either he ends his tenure as Prime Minister or gets absolutely washed out of politics at the general. But anyway, the only bit of thing I want to say to everyone that's watching, when the general comes, vote anything apart from Tory, also known as Conservative, and wash this bigoted fucker out. Anyway folks, over and out, and thanks.